As a response to some open call applications and some residency applications I've been doing, I've been reflecting on ecology in my practice and what that actually means to me, whether that's in terms of eco-friendly practice and the idea of scientific change, or whether that's lessons and heritage and a history. And as a classics major and a theatre major, I think it's an interesting crossover. It's something that's come up quite a lot. And one of the first things that came up was so far away from that kind of academic focus. The silent lessons that I've learned while travelling and while solo travelling, being by myself, witnessing these things, that is what I think about when I think about the earth and exploration and what I want to protect, this heritage of and this knowledge that is there to be sought. And when I look back, all I can see is my younger self, which then is when it gets a bit woo-woo, but the cuteness and the openness to an experience. And I see these locations as facilitators and of this kind of experience and this expansion and this just unfolding of growth. And that feels like something taken from my fourth year theatre piece, which is interesting because when I graduated, I completely went, do not make me think of this experience ever again. It's too painful. I'm done. I want something new, different, over, more. And then now, as I return to this creative reflection, as I have time, finally, to return to this creative reflection and creative progress, it's been something I've been thinking about. It's tied into a lot of applications, and I'm, we'll see. We'll see how this develops into the art that I'm going to put on show here. The armour I've collected protected me well. My isolated refinement cocooned like the earth. The earth holds and reaches out for me, teaches out for me. Across different countries and continents and lands, I show myself wonders that I deserve. I prove that I am worth it. I prove to myself that I am someone I want to be with. The world reminds me who I want to be and what I can be. All that has gone before. It is diverse and expansive, and all possibilities are above as below. So this has led me to focus on the earth, travelling, and different elements as part of my practice. There's been a few different sides to this ecological topic, and the previous spring flower focus has now gone into this more chthonic of the earth idea. It's a little bit darker, but I think that fits in with my general kind of vibe as well. It's something that is a challenge to translate into neon colours, but I like the idea that the neon symbolises this added spiritual light to it. It's this base earth element, with an added layer on top. There's always something else. I think it's defiant as well. It ties into this graffiti aesthetic, and it reminds me of a more resilient element that the earth has to it. I think by connecting it to ideas like punk, New York aesthetic in the 80s, kind of Keith Haring, but also a bit more Basquiat, torn, frayed edges. And there's resilience in that boldness, the boldness of the colour, the boldness of the statement. And it's something that I saw along the river as well. I think it's important to see this resilience in art as well, this kind of defiance. And I think this potent reminding of the nature of humanity. You know, trans people have always existed. When you look into, like, if you research it, if you bother to Google it, if you bother to learn a bit of history, I think this reminding from the earth and from nature that our new created narratives are just that. I think art is always a powerful kind of messenger in terms of that. There's also some really cool communicators at the moment who are doing the Lord's work in not just art, in terms of, you know, YouTube, in terms of social media, and this idea of a digital garden, cultivating a space that is also using natural imagery. So this kind of heritage and looking at what lessons and what history, what does this soil, chthonic, what is discarded, or this grittier image of resistance, what that can teach us as much as the shiny, bright possibility is as important. This is also inspired by the lessons of others. This is not my lived experience, but it's something that also then connotes a kind of solidarity and visibility in community. The four pieces that I'd included as part of this then connected or connect as one piece. The idea that you can't have one without the other. So, on top of the other couple of people that are doing God's work in terms of community engagement and science education and even just history education online, I was also reading Drew Wallows Loud. And Drew Wallow is an online personality and a presenter and an author, somebody I've been following purely because she's mean to people on TikTok, and I love that shit. This kind of bravery and resilience, if you want to call it that, somehow stems from ecology through her own experience of colonialism as a Samoan woman. And here, that powerful resistance of community and that tone and upbringing lends itself to the self-worth. This everyday living full of self-respect, full of you don't talk to me like that because I know I deserve more, because the experiences of my people and the connections I have to my land, the knowledge of both, then leads to the right to be mean to people who are mean to you. Like, um, not that that is always the case, but I like the way that it's worded in her book, and specifically the last two chapters, the "You're Worth It" and "Living Out Loud," really paint a picture of this existence without restrictions. She also ends the acknowledgement referencing the people who've brought her here. She says that she would be nothing without her community and her family, the people and experiences that have raised her to adulthood. And this, first of all, almost made me tear up. Like, that was a little intense, but I love the idea that a grounding in where you've come from is what fuels you to go forward. She's also someone who's really outspoken about general human rights, mental health. Outspoken is a very good word for Joff Wallet, because this resistance is portrayed online in 100 different ways, but still gets a lot of hate, obviously, because it's inviting some kind of engagement. But the way that she still educates people is just incredible. Not everything has to be perfect and polished for it to teach you something. Not everything has to be completed and visibly formed before it teaches you something. Not everything has to present itself to you. Some things we have to learn, and there are always lessons
available to us from people who've gone before in books, in history. And I think now more than ever, it's really important to communicate these ideas and to put your own work out there. When you see the quantity of shit that's getting put out on the internet and the amount of untrue, unfair, hateful things that get posted every day, anybody who's ever thought of creating is called to then put out their own quantity of work, their own rebalancing of the scales. I think it's more important than ever, question mark. Or it's more important to me right now than ever to explore these things, to explore these relationships, to form thoughts and ideas and pieces that make other people think about them, make other people form their own ideas, as well as invite a discussion, which is what all of these communicators are doing. And I think it's great. I am inspired by them. I create work, I consume, and then put out my own take on it. It's something to do while the world's crashing and burning. So, hopefully these headphones work. Though has been wet. So if the earth has taught us anything, it's that things are shit, they get better, and life goes on. And just like all of these ecological ramblings, I thought about the world ending, and then I went for drinks and celebrated some time off work. Things happen, we move on, and just like the earth, if we stick around, there'll be a new cycle. Thank you for watching.